So we're going to do a quick interview, just explaining, first of all, introducing everybody, then explaining what exactly this is and why it was created. It's understandable that a lot of people don't know. A lot of times what we don't know, sometimes we assume, sometimes we fear. So we're just trying to educate people. There's some people that are ignorant, the fact that they just don't know, and there's some people that are ignorant and don't want to know. So for those that want to know and want to listen, we're just going to enlighten you guys, and that's about it. We can start introducing everybody.
I'm Xavier Rodriguez. I'm Kareem KJ Williams. I'm 23 years old.
I'm Rafael Rodriguez. I'm 23 years old.
I'm Frank Manzano. I'm 24 years old.
I'm Keon Williams. I'm 21.
All right. How old are you, Raf?
I'm also 21.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, first of all, we see right off the bat, very young men, which is dope. What's your ethnicity, your racial makeup?
I'm Dominican.
Okay. Both parents?
Yeah, full.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm biracial. My father's African American and my mother's Caucasian.
Okay.
I'm also Dominican, full.
Okay.
I'm Dominican as well. My mother was white.
Okay.
I'm biracial as well.
Okay. And just so you guys know, you and KJ are brothers.
Correct.
Right.
And me
And then me and him
brothers.
are brothers.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we all learning something
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
All right. And where were you
But we're
raised
all
at?
brothers.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I was actually born in Lewisburg.
Okay.
In that hospital, and then I've lived in Millen my whole life after that.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I was born in Lewisburg at the hospital over in Lewisburg, but I've lived in Millen my whole life.
Yep.
I was born in Manhattan, and then when we moved over, then I was raised here pretty much.
Okay. At what age did you guys come to Pennsylvania?
When I was 1.
Okay, so you were young.
Yeah.
I was also born in evangelical, but we only lived here for a little bit. I moved to Georgia for a while, and we came back when I was in third grade. So.
Okay.
I was born in Evan in Lewisburg. Lived
Okay.
in Norton my whole life.
Okay. So everybody is basically from this area.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because so many people were assuming and stating that people that were participating in the protests were bussed in from other places.
Yeah.
And I think it's super important to stress that everybody's here local. So
Correct.
we know the problems that are going on in our own community.
Yeah.
This is our community. So yes. So can you guys explain to me what was it that made you, was there one specific incident or incidents that made you guys decide to organize? First of all, introduce introduce yourself by name of the organization, just so we can, for those that don't know.
Yeah, so we're if not us, then who? We kind of came up with that name on a whim. It was just something that we all agreed upon. Sounded really good. We felt like there's been a lot. This has been going on for a long time in our area, and nobody has ever spoke up on it. So if nobody's gonna do it, then we'll do it. That's kind of how we came up with the name.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when did you guys
Yeah, just to go for that. Probably we probably felt like from the love we got in Milton, was like, okay, like maybe this could be something, you know, this could be something that we could really make a movement out of. So after the protest in Milton, we met and we were like, where we want to go with this, and we decided that we want to commit to this, and we really want to commit to change and making a better community, not only for our children but for their children as well. So
Dope. All right. And just before we even get started and go in depth, I want to state, because a lot of people have been messaging me and even coming up to me and trying to give me credit for something. And this is something that you guys have organized and reached out to me. That's it. You know what I mean? This is your guys' thing. And I think that is so important for us. And I want to state that and let that be known, because, and I just told your brother as we were going to the store, that before you sent me that DM, in my head I was thinking, all right, something needs to be done. And then I got that DM from you. And the DM was just telling me, look, we're decided we're going to stage a protest, and we would like you to participate as a member of the community. And I was like, this is, like that was perfect on God's timing. And I love to sit back and watch you guys do what needs to be done and speak in when needed. But I believe credit has to go to you guys. A lot of people, and I think also that people that do that, maybe they don't think that because you guys are young, that you guys are capable of doing this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's very, very important to let that be known, because a lot of people, and I'll tell them, look, I participate, I'm participating just like anybody else. But this is your guys' thing. And all the credit belongs to you guys. So as a member of the community, and as a Latino, I take my hat off to you guys, because it's nice to see younger men step up and do what's needed to be done. It gives me hope for the future, for my children. Even though I don't live in Milton, my business is here. I interact with a lot of the community members, and what I don't want in my house, I don't want here. So that's extremely important. So what was it the George Floyd incident, or what was it exactly that was like, okay, now we've been waiting long enough, let's do it?
Yeah, I think, I know me personally, I've been seeing this go on for years and years and years. I turn on the TV some morning before school and I'm seeing protests because Mike Brown was killed, because Trayvon Martin was killed, things like that. And it was always like a fire I had inside of me. And then it was like once George Floyd, I saw the video of George Floyd, and I heard about that case. It was like, okay, I'm old enough now. I'm a man. I can go and do something about this. I can do it the right way too. So that was, for me, that was kind of what pushed me over the edge. Like, okay, now it's time for me to step up and do what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly, nice. And what was your thoughts and sentiment before that first protest? What was the concerns? What was the game plan, basically? What was leading up? Put me in your guys' shoes the day before,
So,
that was going on.
I know myself.
And just go ahead, I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I know myself. I was nervous. Of course I was nervous because I didn't know how it was going to go. I've never organized or planned anything like this before. So of course I was really nervous. I knew I was going to be emotional. I knew that my brothers were going to be emotional. So I was definitely nervous, but I think that it couldn't have turned out any better than it did.
Yeah. And what were you feeling?
I was the same way. I was a little nervous because I didn't know what to expect really about the whole situation, how it was going to turn out. But once I was there and once I saw how people were feeling and how everybody interacted with each other, I was like, man. And I didn't expect that many people, so that moved me to keep going, to say, hey, we can keep going with this protesting thing.
Right.
Well, if we talking specifically about the Milton protest, before that one, there was just like a lot of anxiousness, just like not really worried, but you didn't know what the outcome was going to be. We had, like KJ said, we never planned anything like this. We never did anything of these sorts. So for us to step up and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We didn't know what kind of feedback we were going to get, and when people came out and showed love, like I said, I expected maybe 20-25 people, including my brothers, to be there.
Exactly.
And so many people showed. They said the numbers were a little over 200 for the Milton protest. So for me, that was our community showing out for us and stepping up for us. So we want to just return that favor and just be able to continue this movement, continue where we're going. And for the Mifflinburg protest yesterday, man. Like I said, before that, we were, I wouldn't say scared, but I would say that we were ready, and we were ready, So we understood that there was a lot of hate going around on the internet, but that's just what it is, It's hate on the internet. It takes a real man to come say it to your face, and we saw how that played out. We had a wonderful event yesterday, and in my opinion, it couldn't have went better.
Yeah.
Same with them. The Milton protest, I was kind of nervous, didn't really know what was gonna happen. We're in an area where racism is relevant, it's relevant everywhere, but around here it's very relevant. So what we're kind of doing is kind of dangerous in some ways, threats on the internet, all that stuff. So definitely, Milton protest, I was definitely a little nervous. But the Mifflinburg, like Frank said, it's not that we was scared or nothing. We was just ready. Like a lot of hate on the internet, threats, all that.
Mhm.
But again,
Most amazing event.
yeah, most amazing event we had yet, and
We're
more
just
to
getting
come.
started, yeah.
How many people were there?
400 plus, 500
Yeah,
plus.
they said, I said
Yeah.
rough estimate 500, 600 people.
Yeah,
That's
there was,
nice,
there was
that's
a
nice.
lot. What was your feelings?
Yeah, for me, I was just really surprised of all the supporters we actually had there. I was definitely not expecting that many people, as they were saying. I was expecting like us and then a few of our friends that we've been like growing up with and stuff. So I was definitely surprised that we had that many people out there supporting us. And I was also very emotional. I don't think I could control myself that day. Like I was crying, I was walking on the street. I was
In Milton?
Yeah, I was just all over the place, and I saw that with like Frank as well. Frank was just letting all his emotions out and his anger, and I feel like that's how I was. And after like seeing all that support, like we said, we met up, and then we're like, yo, we can really do this. So then we did that. We played this Mifflinburg one, and it was amazing. And I think we're just gonna keep going from here.
We're getting so much more love.
Yeah, we're
man.
getting
The
so much
is
love. We're getting
ridiculous.
donations now, support. People actually recognize us. Like today, we went to Steelers Grove to like support East Solace, and they're actually chanting our chant, like "If not us, then who?" And we're just like, wow, like we're really doing this. And this is just a second protest. It's just crazy to see how we're just gonna keep going from here. And I don't plan on stopping for nobody. I love the haters.
I think we should make it a point to like, we didn't like, the first protest we did not organize.
Yeah,
No.
like, completely improv.
That was straight.
Improv, how we felt,
Yeah.
our feelings towards everything.
Yeah, like I remember we were on a group Snapchat, and we were like, yo,
Yeah.
we should try to organize a protest,
Yeah.
and that's literally how it went. After that, we
Yeah.
just
And
boom, we
that
just
turned
we just
into
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Turned
we made the
into-
calls the very next day
Yeah.
to the people I needed to make the calls, and then from there it was just like hasn't stopped
Yeah.
since.
It has-
And that's the beauty of it. In my eyes, coming from somebody a little older, that's the beauty of it. It's seeing that it's grassroots, it's organic.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I enjoy seeing. I love seeing young brothers doing the right thing, and then I love seeing young brothers speak up against injustice anywhere. And I always tell you guys this, that when I was your guys' age, I wouldn't have been able to keep my emotions in check. You know, and as I was driving to Milton, the day of the protest, I remember specifically telling my wife, we got to take separate cars, you know, and she just thinking we taking separate cars. In my head, I was like, okay, there's, you know, we never know how this can go.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I seen the crowd and how young it was. And I was like, instantly, it went from, my mind state went from being, okay, this has the potential to go left. When I seen the crowd and seen how young it was, instantly my mind state was, no, this can't go left.
Yeah.
This can't go left. No matter what, it can't go left.
Yeah.
Because there's all these young brothers and sisters out here. So it can't go left. So I just felt my duty as being older is to make sure it doesn't. You know what I mean? That everything short of somebody putting their hands on one of us, everything else we could look past.
Yeah.
You know, besides somebody putting their hands on one of us. You know, and then that is just, you know, protecting yourself. That's all.
Absolutely.
And I remember, you know, the same feelings that you guys had, I shared also. And I was driving up there and I was thinking, okay, and seeing that crowd, the age and the makeup of the crowd,
In Milton?
yeah, it was so diverse and it was beautiful. I was truly happy for you guys. And then as I started looking around, I sort of was like, damn, there's some faces that I expect to be here that aren't here.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really truly.
How do you
Both
guys?
days. Both days.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep.
How do you guys? First of all, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. Do you guys feel that there's people that should have been there to support you that haven't been?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Okay.
I can come up with probably 5 or 6 names right now, you know.
Yeah.
But you know that's that's neither here or there, you know. So at the end of the day, we have to continue doing what we're doing,
Yep.
continue moving our message forward, continue doing what we think is right and what we feel like we should be doing. You know, we can't wait for nobody. Like I said, the love we're receiving is so incredible, and like that just gives me so much motivation to keep moving forward. You know.
Yep.
We really don't stop talking about this. Like
Yeah.
ever since we
Yeah.
did what we did,
This is all we talk about.
it's on our mind.
Yeah, we meet every night, every other night to talk about it, to plan and till midnight.
We got group message
till
that
midnight.
No.
group chat
Non-stop.
that's non-stop and not message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
I guess-
if we wanted to stop talking about it, we couldn't because people was
Our
just
mind
straight.
doesn't let
Yeah.
us, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
KJ said, we literally started with, or I think Raph said, we started on a group chat on Snapchat. Now we got 500 followers on Instagram, 400 people like us on Facebook. We got over 100 followers, I think, on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like people are
But
people.
you're gonna get a lot more once this
Yeah,
video.
absolutely. Like at the end of the day, man, we're so grateful for literally every single one and everybody that's following us, listening to us, because we have a message and we're gonna convey it whether you guys like it or not. Because we have a mission, we have a goal, and we're not stopping until we get to that goal.
Absolutely. And for myself, when I started looking around that crowd, you know, I was disappointed at certain people.
Facts.
And I always, like, I'm a huge believer in holding people accountable. You know, if I'm on some bullshit, I expect people to hold me accountable if they care about me.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
if they don't fuck with me, I don't care. Don't hold me. But if you care about me and you want the best for me, hold me accountable, because that's the only way I'm gonna get better. You know, and it's sad to see that. You know, but I think it also now that line is clear.
Yeah,
You know,
facts.
if the line was ever not
Yeah.
clear before,
No, you're 100%
it's
right.
clear now.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen, you know, one of your friends, Tony, that he was like posting that he supports Trump and stuff, and I was just blown away by that shit. I was like, what the fuck? You know, like I was completely disappointed in him.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and even it's not about even
That's really all
supporting
it's
Trump.
about.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's not even
Yeah.
really with supporting Trump, because I have friends that support Trump.
Yeah.
We just have different political views. But
Yeah.
then to see an absence, you know, Frank could be doing something, even if I 100% don't agree with it, I'm still gonna support him.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna support him in what he does,
Yeah.
because he's my man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I have love for him, and I want the best for him.
That's real.
I want him to succeed in everything. So even if I don't agree with everything he might say or do, you know, as long as it's not morally wrong, I'm gonna support him. You know, and if it's morally wrong, I'm gonna check him. You know, and I expect the same thing from him.
That's 100%.
And it's, you know, that's what is so important, because I seen in the first protest that you showed frustration towards one of the law enforcement that was a friend, you know what I mean? And I remember
Very
telling
good friend.
Yes.
Very good friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all that.
And I remember telling you we have to hold our own brothers and sisters the same way we feel about that you were feeling that moment. We have to hold our same people
Yeah.
accountable like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If somebody black or brown or even white that's our brother or sister,
Yeah.
we have to hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
The same way we do.
He was a friend of
others.
yours?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All of ours.
All of ours.
If you want, you can explain the situation to him, because
Yeah, I
he wasn't there.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, like I said, I actually didn't know it was him over, because they were over in the distance away from where we were. I just seen four Union County sheriffs, I believe they were. I walked up to them. I just wanted to know why they went with us. You know, 'cause we had officers kneeling with us. We had people, saying Black Lives Matter. You know, we had officers and sheriffs doing that. So I just wanted to see why they weren't even, in the vicinity of what we were trying to do. So I went over there, and literally the first thing I seen when I walked over there was my good friend. And like I said, I talk to him to this day, well, not this day anymore, but until that day, I talked to him, and just to see him in that car, literally my heart stuck to my stomach, so when I seen that, I was just like, man, I was like, can you come out here and stand with me, like I'll forget everything, I'll just come out here and stand with me, kneel with me. And he couldn't do that. I said, how come? And his answer to me why he couldn't kneel with me is because he was doing his job, was a specific answer. And I said, well, we have officers over here, we have sheriffs over here kneeling with us, saying Black Lives Matter, on duty. They're just doing their job. So why can't you kneel with me? You're my friend. I thought you were my friend.
Right.
I thought you were my good friend. We played sports together. We went to parties together. Did everything together. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of things with that man. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like I said, man, when I seen that, it just broke my heart. And for him to not even get out the car, he was just sitting in the car.
And what you say when you said
When I asked him why he couldn't do that, because all the other officers and sheriffs were doing it, he didn't answer me. His mouth, it was crickets. It was literally quiet. And I could continue to ask him, like, just answer me, please just answer me, please just answer me. Answer me this question, I'll leave. And he couldn't tell me why he couldn't do it, but they could.
And especially that's
My
your friend, somebody
my friend.
you grew up with.
Absolutely.
So you're valid in feeling the way you're
Absolutely.
feeling towards him.
And then I said, all right, so I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna tell everybody who's here. And then that's when he talked. He said, no, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So he wasn't ready. And like I said, it's the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever. That until this point, that moment hit me the most. Because it was just like, man, I really thought that man was my friend, and he couldn't even stand with me. He couldn't kneel with me. He just sat there. To me, he looked dumb. So at the end of the day, man. Like I said, we're continuing to move our message forward. You know, we can't stop for nobody. But that definitely, if I had to pick one situation that hurt me the most since we started doing this, absolutely. Sure.
And the thing I think that is so important to let known for those that might not know is we're not out protesting police. We're protesting bad police.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to get. You know, we're not protesting police. We're protesting bad police.
Yeah, absolutely. And the system, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Racism in general.
Yes.
Social injustice in
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the thing is though, is that if a cop is bad, he's not really gonna draw the line between white and black. He's you know, they might treat us a little worse,
Absolutely.
but he's not gonna hesitate to treat a white man bad. So with the people that don't realize is that we're also fighting for your guys' rights.
And actually about that, as I see a lot of people who say and use the stat that white people get killed by my cops more than black people do, and that's a true stat. But when you look at the ratios, it's completely off.
Absolutely.
But what I wanted to say about that is, I want to know why if they want to split it into black and white, and then we're fighting for our cause, why aren't you guys fighting for your cause?
Yeah,
you know, if more people are dying, why aren't you guys fighting as hard as we are? There's obviously something wrong if you just don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just so confused as to if you can't understand why we're doing what we're doing, then to me you're part of the issue and what we're trying to fix. Because I really truly feel like our values are clear. What we want to do is clear, and it's not outlandish.
Yeah,
we're not looking to be change into a completely different government. Do this. We just want the system rebuilt so we have an equal chance as everybody else.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's important also is, you know, nobody's sitting here looking for reparations.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? And for those reparations was a for the slaves that they were supposed to be given 40 acres and a mule as, you know, payback for being slaves. We're not looking for that. Nobody's looking to be a millionaire.
Exactly.
Nobody's looking for nothing. We're just want to be treated equally and fairly and not be gunned down in the streets. We shouldn't have to fear the police. You know, and it's sad when we do. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be our first line of defense.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's sad when at times we can't rely on them, you know, or fear them even more so.
Absolutely. I saw something that said the Minnesota cop who unfortunately killed our brother George Floyd said he had, before he got hired to his precinct, he had 7 convictions. And to me, I'm just like, I don't understand how you could think in your brain that somebody like that could protect us in our communities, and I just don't understand it. I really truly don't.
Yeah, I agree with you, and like you said, you know, I see a lot of people they're sharing posts, you know, and memes and stuff because it's the age of the internet.
Yeah, the day we
and
live
they're
in.
saying, well, this white guy the injustice was done. Okay, so fight for him.
Absolutely, and I want to be there with you.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
I want to be fighting with
100%,
you. And when we
100%.
get our equality, I'll fight with you. But we have something that's on our plate that has been going on for decades and decades and hasn't been fixed.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we just started. The civil rights movement started yesterday. You know, or last week with our Milton protest. We didn't start this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're just sick and tired of watching what's going on in today's day and age. Like I said, I'm the oldest one here. I'm 24 years old. I couldn't imagine some of the stuff you probably seen. Stuff people older than you probably seen, you know? I can only watch it on YouTube, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, to feel the way I feel right now watching the stuff I see, I can only imagine how somebody else feels that's older than me. And I want to fight for them. Because nothing's changed. We're still not equal. We still get treated differently. We still get racially profiled. I still get followed in stores. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really the world we live in, and I'm not trying to be, you know, like, I don't want to play the victim, you know, but at the end of the day, like, when will somebody see what we're going through and try to make a change?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But also the older generation is like, what are you changing by trying to protest?
They don't believe in us.
Do they, like, they don't believe in change, that we can actually do something, like, so it's annoying, because you got some of them that are like, yeah, I'm with you, and then some of them that are like, what are you accomplishing from this? Like,
just because they never did it before.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Well, that's why we're here
Change
now,
now.
because maybe your generation decided to be silent, and that's
Yeah,
why
but
we're
not
still
us.
here.
Yeah.
If not us, then who?
And I find that too with, I think it's like the generation that is right over me. I'm 39 years old. I think it's like, it would be like the generation that's maybe 40s and 50s.
Yes, exactly.
Where I see they're a lot more
absent.
passive,
Yeah.
and
70s babies.
you know, they're almost like, it's almost like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Where,
Okay.
you know, where Stockholm syndrome is when people that are kidnapped identify with their captors.
Yep.
And they start to make up excuses of why they're doing this. You know,
absolutely.
well, you know, maybe I shouldn't have been doing this or that, you know, and that's sort of what it is, you know.
No, I feel that.
It's sad, first of all, because we have to be, you know, I always think that the worst thing a person can be is content anywhere in life. Because when we're content, we settle for less. We'd be like, fuck it, I'm cool. We're going on 9 to 5 and making $400 a week and never getting anything better. You know, we're content. So we're never going to strive for better and not realize that we're worth more. You know, I've been beat up by the cops.
Yes, sir.
I've been lied on by the cops. I've been set up by the cops. You know, and when I was in the penitentiary, you know, I was treated real dirty by people that were supposed to be in authority. And just until about 4 years ago, I couldn't even look at a white man and not be some type of disgusted or angry.
That's real.
Until I started getting white friends that I realized, damn, they're, you know, all I was doing was packing them together.
Yeah.
Because the majority of my experiences with white men was negative.
Yeah.
Some were warranted,
Yeah.
you know, because I was out there acting like a knucklehead, so I deserved to be arrested.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of it wasn't, you know. And then once I got those couple white friends and I started to realize, I was like, damn, they care about me just for me, not about what I can do for them. They care about me for me just as a human being. And it started to change my views. And I knew my views were wrong. I knew my views were wrong, but it started to change them. And now some of my best friends are white, and I'm like, I don't see them as any differently. And it changed my views towards a lot of the white men in general. Now I realized, all right, you know, I got to give everybody a fair shot. The same way I want to be given a fair shot, I got to give everybody else a fair shot. And just because Officer Dickhead did this, and, you know, doesn't mean he has to be punished for that.
No, absolutely.
You know, and I think that's the same thing that we're asking, is just to be treated fairly, you know.
That's a fact.
And we also have to realize too is that, you know, so many people complain and be like, well, there's no black police officers, there's no brown police officers. Go be a police officer. We can do that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to put ourselves in those positions to make a change and to change those stereotypes. And it might seem so. Listen, I remember if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be doing some of the stuff I'm doing and being in some of the rooms that I'm in and be getting some of the calls that I get, I would have thought you was lying. I'd have been like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna let, you know, a 4 or 5 time felon in that type of rooms and be meeting with the people that I'm meeting and speaking with this type of people that I'm speaking. And it goes to show if I can do that, anybody can do that.
Right.
You know, if one of us can do something, any of us can. You know, the only thing we can't do is grow to be 7 foot tall. That's it. Anything besides that, we can